In this webinar, we discuss the Certified Acceptance Agent Program. Certified Acceptance Agents. A Certified Acceptance Agent, or CAA, it's very frequently shortened to CAA, is a person or entity who, pursuant to a written agreement with the IRS, is authorized to assist individuals and other foreign persons who do not qualify for a Social Security number, but who still need a Taxpayer Identification Number to file a Form 1040. Certified acceptance agents can authenticate a passport and birth certificate for dependents to request an ITIN. Requesting an ITIN is done by filling out the Form W7. The Form W7 is the ITIN application. If you have a person who is not eligible for a Social Security number, they can request an ITIN if they have to file a tax return. There's only 3 ways to get an ITIN. The taxpayer can go in person to an IRS Assistance Center and request an ITIN that way, along with their original documents. They can go in, walk in person and request it that way. Or they could fill out the Form W7 and mail in their original passport and their birth certificate and their other documents. Many times taxpayers don't want to do that. They don't want to mail in their original documents to the IRS. And you understand why they might not want to do that, because things can get lost over at the IRS. The third way to request an ITIN is to use a certified acceptance agent. And then the certified acceptance agent makes copies of the documents and certifies that they're authentic. And then the certified acceptance agent actually mails in the application along with the tax return usually, and the taxpayer can obtain an ITIN that way. All the applications have to be mailed in if the taxpayer doesn't actually go in person to an IRS Assistance Center. They have to be mailed in. You cannot e-file a tax return that has a Form W7 attached to it. All ITIN applications have to go in by mail, but you don't have to send original documents like the original passport or the original birth certificate if the taxpayer uses a certified acceptance agent. And this is something that you can do. You can become a certified acceptance agent if you're not one already, and add this to your practice offerings in order to offer ITIN applications to your clients. Certified acceptance agents can authenticate a passport and birth certificate for dependents to request an ITIN. These steps need to be taken by all new applicants. They have to complete Form 13551, application to participate in the IRS Acceptance Agent Program. You have to complete the mandatory acceptance agent training and complete forensic training and submit the certificate of completion to the IRS. Starting in 2024, the IRS no longer accepts paper applications of the Form 13551. All applicants now have to use IRS e-services and upload all required documents through the CAA upload tool. So now these applications all have to go in online, starting in 2024. Example, Elena, an enrolled agent, wants to expand her practice offerings by becoming a certified acceptance agent so she can help individuals without Social Security numbers obtain taxpayer identification numbers. She applies to the CAA program and is accepted. Elena's new client, Alzira Gutierrez, recently moved to the United States and needs an individual taxpayer identification number, which is an ITIN, to file her taxes. This is my grandma's name. My grandma's name was Alzira. I use a lot of family names in my examples. Elena assists Alzira with filling out the Form W7. Elena reviews and submits the form and the required documentation on Alzira's behalf, along with her tax return, to the special address for the IRS's ITIN unit. So there's a special address for this, where the tax returns all have to go in to that special unit if there's an ITIN application included with the tax return. A few weeks later, Alzira receives her ITIN from the IRS. They'll get a letter from the IRS with their ITIN on it. Elena celebrates this milestone and looks forward to helping more clients obtain their ITINs in the future. Here's a sample Form W7. This is a sample from the IRS website, so it's not done very well. It doesn't have identification documents listed or anything like that, but this is from the IRS website. This is not a real person. The taxpayer would sign here at the bottom, and you have to use a wet signature. You can't use like DocuSign or anything like that. It has to be signed with an original signature in ink, and then the acceptance agent also has to sign if the acceptance agent helps the taxpayer fill out the Form W7 and also certifies documents for them. This slide shows the address where ITINs actually get processed. It's a special address. in Austin, Texas, an IRS address. This is the ITIN operation office at the Austin Service Center in Austin, Texas. As you can see, it states right here, you will only file a tax return to the address above once when you file Form W-7 to get an ITIN. In subsequent years, when you have an ITIN, you will file your tax return as directed in the form instructions. So only when you have an ITIN application would you use this address. And you have to send it in along with the tax return most of the time. There are some exceptions where you actually can request an ITIN without a tax return, but they are rare. Usually the ITIN application has to be sent along with the initial tax return. Follow our channel for more information about the EA exam.